Hey humans, how's it going? This is Honor coming back with another Flash review. This is Flash episode 21, season 3. Oh my gosh. Okay. There were a lot of things about this episode that I liked, and there were a lot of things about this episode that I didn't like. So I'm just gonna review and recap at the same time. So let's just get right on into it. Okay, so at the beginning, we see, of course, Barry having a conversation with Barry, the Savitar Barry. And the conversation was kind of, a lot of people called it. They were saying, Savitar is a time remnant, okay. He's a time remnant from 4 years in the future, though. So he's not a time remnant that Barry has created yet. I thought that was kind of interesting, unless I heard that wrong. So he's a time remnant from the future Barry, who tries to stop Savitar. See, that part they still didn't clean up enough for me. When Cisco said it was a never-ending loop, I said that with my last review, that it was like a weird, twisted loop. I wanted them to clear that up for me. I don't like the fact that it seems to have no beginning and no end. So, just like HR said, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I don't like that. I wish they had cleaned that up a little bit more. Did Barry had to come first. We all know that. But this period, I think that Flashpoint created all of this mess. That's what I believe, because that's the only thing that makes logical sense. Unless they come up with some more ideas or whatever to clarify and clean this up, I don't like the fact that Savitar seemed to exist, which created Iris's death, which created Savitar, which Barry created trying to kill Savitar. I don't like that. I don't like that. So hopefully they'll clean that up. I don't like that. I did find it funny how Barry was choking himself, had himself in a headlock, and then Savitar was like, yeah, my suit is better than yours. I don't know why. That made me laugh. That was funny. So I did like their conversation. I didn't like the whole beginning thing. The fact that Barry came from pain, Savitar came from pain, we kind of knew that was going in that direction, because it makes sense. Barry has a lot of pain. He's had a lot of bad things happen to him, and Savitar was born of that. We kind of all figured that out as well. I like the fact that Savitar said, the more you play with the timelines and the Speed Force, the less the rules apply to you. I find that very interesting. Maybe they'll flush that out in the next coming episodes. That's just very, very interesting to me, that the more you play with the Speed Force, the less the rules apply. That's just interesting to me. So hopefully we'll see them play on that. Then we go to the next shots, of course, where Barry tells the team, I know who it is, I'm Savitar, and then they try to figure out how Barry is Savitar, and Wally brought up a good question. He said, if Savitar has all of your memories and all of your feelings, why would he want to hurt us? Which brings me back to the main glitch in this whole plot. It's like, where did Savitar come from? If he came after Iris died, that would make sense. But Iris died because he already existed. Anyway, let me get off that. So Cisco, of course, draws on the board. He tells them about the loop. I like that. And then Barry and Iris go to talk. Now, when Barry and Iris go to talk, I like the fact that Barry was able to piece it together without help. Not only was he able to find out that Savitar was himself without help, which I loved, because Barry is not an idiot, but I also like that during the conversation with Iris, while she was trying to cheer him up or whatever with these placated words, Barry was telling her, no, there is a darkness in me, which again goes back to my last episode, when I was saying nobody knows you like you do. Nobody does. because nobody reads your thoughts unless they're in your mind 24/7. They don't know you like you do. And so she's trying to tell Barry one thing, you're a good guy, Barry, and he's telling her, no, I'm telling you, he's part of me. He's part of me. Savitar is an extension of me. That pain, that's all Savitar is. He's all the pain that I am. And if I don't watch myself, I could very easily turn into that. And because I have these incredible powers, it'll be easier to become this bad guy because I've already got this access at my fingertips. Someone wise once said that the only difference between us and super evil people is the fact that they have the ability to. And I'm just paraphrasing the quote. The only difference between us and somebody who's super evil is the fact that they have the ability, they've had the access to it. Because given the right circumstances, right place, right time, right abilities, you would probably be that too. None of us are exempt from being these super evil people. It all comes down to the decisions that we make day in and day out. And I love the fact that Barry is not denying that part of him, because that's what gets you in trouble. The minute you think you don't need help, the minute you think you have nothing wrong with you, you're already screwed. Good luck. You're already down the path that you don't want to be on. So I love the fact that Barry was doing that, came to that conclusion all on his own. Iris was trying to help, but really, she could have sat there and just been a support for him and let him think it through. You're trying to help, and we get it, but he is correct. Then we move on to the next shot with Cisco coming in, and him saying, I have an idea. And Cisco's like, we're going to make him forget his memories. So they put Barry in the chair. He agrees to do it. And I think it's brilliant. I'm like, okay, I can get with this. So put Barry in the chair. He agrees to do it. And Cisco rewinds it back too far to where Barry doesn't remember anything. And the scenes that follow are so funny. Man, I laughed really hard. The fact that Barry thought he was kidnapped, being experimented on, that they were going to take his kidneys. But the part that really killed me was when he wanted to be called Bart Allen. Oh my gosh. Now, those of us who know the Flash story, who love the comics, that was gold. That was pure gold. That was the most gold in the whole episode. I love that. That was perfect. And it took me I immediately thought of Smallville. And I laughed for a long time. That was so funny. And Wally was like, yeah, that's a cool name. Man, I laughed for a long time. Hopefully they will bring a Bart into the show at some point, because that was gold. That was gold. So hopefully that was foreshadowing, because that was awesome. So they're trying to get Barry to remember, and when Iris and Joe and Julian and Cisco go to talk, Barry turns to Wally and he's like, how do we know each other? And Wally was like, well, you're my brother. And Barry looks down. He looks down. Wow, okay. And Wally's smile afterwards was, they had some nuggets of gold in this episode. Especially at the beginning. That was funny. So they didn't account for Barry's super speed and the way his mind, I guess, processes things, and the way his mind speeds up as well. So Julian and Cisco were left behind to try to figure it out, and Joe and Iris took Barry, I was about to call him Bart, Lord help us, took Barry to the police station because they needed him to testify. Cecile needed him to testify. And that's the reason why I titled this episode Bye Felicia. Man, again, I died laughing. When Joe asked him, he said, what's her name? He was like, Felicia? Okay. I'm digressing here. Okay, so I'm happy that Cecile knows that he's the Flash, because unlike in most superhero movies where they don't like to tell their family and friends who they are, having Barry's family and friends know who he is helps him tremendously. The more people on his side that know, the better it is for him. So I love the fact that the Flash has been unconventional in doing that. Gold. So then when Barry and Iris are talking in jitters, I thought it was a phenomenal conversation. Love that conversation. I love that Barry was lighter. He was more buoyant and very carefree. And she's like, because you don't have the weight of the world on his shoulders. Every superhero has the weight of the world on their shoulders. Are y'all going to make me bring out the cliche quote? I'm going to bring it out. With great power comes great responsibility. Of course he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders because it's his weight to bear. Nobody gave you these powers to lie around and do nothing. That's why you have them. These are the sacrifices and the choices and the decisions that you have to make because you were given this great gift. You can't get one without the other. So he didn't know that he was the Flash. He didn't know that his parents died. So he was very carefree. And I loved seeing him like that. I did. It was very, very sweet. The whole conversation was very, very sweet. I enjoyed that scene. Barry testifying in court. Another hilarious scene. I thought the glasses were brilliant. I knew Cisco and Julian were going to come up with something like that. They're too techie and they're too smart. I knew they were going to come up with something like that. So it was working for a minute too. But of course, all good things must come to an end. So I did enjoy that. Oh, and let me go back to the scene with Iris and Barry, because I forgot this point. When she brought up Dragon Ball Z, I was like, how do you not know what Dragon Ball Z is? That was the show. How do you not know what Dragon Ball Z is? And how did Barry forget what Dragon Ball Z is? Like, that show was good. Okay, now that I've said that piece, I can continue to move on. So Tracy and HR, I guess it's about time that Tom Cavanaugh had a love interest, I guess. And Tracy's brilliant. So her being his love interest, I don't mind. I just wonder if she's going to be a temporary stand-in or if they're going to make her a recurring character. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that. I love the fact that she's brilliant and she's kind of quirky and a little bit, unusual and off her rocker. She's just like HR except for she's got a brain. That's the only difference. So I did enjoy that. With HR and Tracy and her building the thing. I did like that. Then when we go to, and I'm probably skipping around now, but I'm just going to continue on with my review. Then we find Barry and Iris in the apartment. And I didn't like the fact that she told Barry his parents died peacefully. I guess because he's in a fragile state now, and she wants to keep him happy and buoyant. So she kind of made that a much happier story than what it was. And I get why she did it, but a white lie is still a lie. But again, I don't really have too much issue with it. I get why she did it. So then Barry comes to realize his power and that he is the Flash. And it was kind of like watching season 1, episode 1. I love that. I love that they were able to give us a piece of that innocence all over again. That whole, a person realizes that they have powers and they're so excited and they're so happy. I was so happy to see that Barry again. It was so nice. I loved that. I loved seeing Barry relearn that he's this superhero. It was brilliant. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Then, of course, we had Caitlin that found out that Savitar forgot, and she comes to Team Flash to help Barry remember. And so she and Cisco are working together with Julian, and she and Cisco's actually connecting. Cisco is brilliant. He's actually getting through to her. He's connecting with her. And so this just brings back to what, I don't know if any of you all watch Blind Waves channel. They do reviews on The Flash as well, reviews and reactions. And I agree with Eric because he was like, why does her powers have to make her evil? That doesn't make any sense. And Caitlin being in there talking to Cisco, we can see that she's still Caitlin. So her mind does not shut off. She doesn't flip into a completely different person when she's Killer Frost. You're still Caitlin. Even when she first became Killer Frost and she in episode 20, where she quote unquote died, Caitlyn died and Killer Frost was born. When she was fighting Barry, Barry said, come on, Caitlyn, I know you can fight this. And you know what she said? She said, I know, I just don't want to. Boom, right there. She's Caitlyn. She just doesn't want to be Caitlyn. So all of this feeling sorry for her, she's choosing to be evil. You don't have to be that way, honey. If Cisco can be Reverb in Earth 2 and still be Vibe in Earth 1 and there's no connection, Caitlyn can be Killer Frost in Earth 2 and still be Caitlyn with good Frost powers in Earth 1. Why does she have to be evil? She's fully cognizant of what she's doing and who she is. I don't like that. When she and Cisco were talking, she had all of her memories. She knew what she was doing. Cisco was able to connect and get a little bit into her mind. She's still Caitlyn. She just doesn't want to be that. And she's doing the very thing that Barry said that he doesn't want to do, which is taking all of that pain and operating on that instead of operating on the good part of you. Caitlyn has had a lot of pain in her life. Her dad died. Her mother was absent. She lost her fiance. Then she fell in love with Jay, who was Zoom. He kidnapped her. She lost him. She's had loss. We're not going to deny that. And so she's operating on the loss that she's had rather than all of the joys that she's had as well. And Caitlyn isn't the only one that's had loss. And she hasn't had more loss than Barry. Let's not even go into that. She hasn't, but she's choosing to operate on how much pain she suffered rather than on focusing on the positive things. And it's not easy. Let me not make it seem like it's laissez-faire and it's easy to do. It's not. It's not easy at all. But she's choosing to be that way. She does not have to be evil. She's choosing to be Killer Frost. Killer Frost is the Savitar version of Caitlyn. She's operating in that mental capacity. She doesn't have to be. But I did like the way that Cisco was able to get through to her and they had a conversation. I knew it wasn't going to be all rainbows and butterflies after that. So I guess that ties into the headline that said Killer Frost still at large because she didn't come back to the team. So that headline is still out there. They finally, a fire happens, and because the guy that Barry was supposed to testify against wound up getting out, Heatmonger, it is a stupid name. I'm with Julian. It's a stupid name. Anyway, so I did like the fact that Barry had trouble stopping, though. That was cute. But, so they electroshock Barry to get him to remember that he's a superhero so that he can save all these people. And why was Iris's monologue so long? I'm thinking, why are you sitting here talking for 15 minutes? Aren't these people dying in this building? Like, you can't condense that speech to like a few snippets. You talking, bringing back memories, and these people are still dying. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why they had to make that scene, turn it into that. They could have easily told Barry, okay, Barry, you run very, very fast, correct? Yes. Okay. Well, then run very, very fast and carry one person at a time. You know how to carry somebody. Just do that several times over really, really fast. Like, you get what I'm saying? They made it a little bit more dramatic than what it has to be. And Iris's speech to him, I liked it and I didn't like it. The reasons why I didn't like it, I'll go into that first, is one, it was too long. Two, I didn't like the fact that, again, Barry had to have another super serious pep talk. You know, it could have been a little bit different, you know? Like, Barry, you can do this. Just go really, really fast and let him think it through. Let him do a little bit something. You know, we've all complained that Barry needs to start being able to think for himself just a little bit. And he was doing that at the beginning of the episode. So I would have liked to see that a little bit in this part. So the things that didn't like, again, I said it was too long. It was another pep talk. And Iris took it past what it needed to be. She said he needed a visual reminder. She could have stopped at the fact that your mom was brutally murdered and you came to live with us and you were very, very sad. That should have been visceral enough to snap Barry out of it. Like, what? My mom was brutally murdered? For seasons 1 and 2, the main pain that Barry had was his mother's death. That was his main pain. That should have been enough to trigger his memories. Like, his mom is a very sore subject for him. That alone would have been enough. Should have been enough. And she kind of spun it from his mom dying into her and him. And that part I felt could have been left out. She didn't have to spin it to where it was about her and him. You know, she could have left it at, you know, him and his mom. I did like the end of her speech where she was like, for every bad memory, there's a good one. That was good. That was really good. But I didn't like that she said that we fell in love. Oh my gosh. Okay. First of all, you were like 11, 12. And in those scenes, they look like 7 and 8. So I guess the other child actors are too old. They're growing up, so they don't look. And I get that. But these two did not look 11. And Barry was 11 when he came to live with them. But anyway, I'm digressing here. But she said that's when they fell in love. Now, honey, come on now. Okay, first of all, you swore up and down you didn't have feelings for Barry. Well, okay, I won't say she swore up and down, but she made it seem like she never had feelings for Barry. And when you found out Barry had all these feelings for you, you had the audacity to be upset that he never said anything, when now we come to find out you never said anything either. So, okay, I'm not even going to go into that, because you can make a whole nother video about that in and of itself. But y'all are 11, and you had a crush on him at 11, but falling in love, not at 11. I don't think so. But then again, I could be just a pessimist, so I'm gonna get off that. So Barry and starts to remember, which makes Savitar remember. So Wally gets his powers back. They save everyone, and they show us back in Star Labs with Barry remembering and all of that. Was nobody else upset at the fact that the whole reason why they took away Barry's memories was to come up with a plan to defeat Savitar, and you used all that time that Barry didn't remember and didn't come up with nothing? That was the whole point of the whole episode. That's the main thing that's irritating me right now. You made Barry forget to come up with a plan, and you did everything but come up with a plan. He forgot for nothing. While Barry doesn't remember, y'all can fix Barry's memories after you come up with a plan to defeat Savitar. The brilliant thing would have been, okay, Barry forgot. Okay, we're going to fix that. It's not permanent damage. We're going to fix this. I promise. But while he's out of it, let's not forget the reason why we did this in the first place. So let's come up with a plan. We're not going to tell Barry. We're just going to tell him what to do when the plan is enacted. Okay, Barry, I need you to be at this place and this time. Why? Can't tell you that. Just be in this place at this time. When you're in this place at this time, I need you to do such and such. Why? Don't worry about it. Just do what I said. Come up with a plan while he doesn't remember. And why couldn't Barry just not have his memories for a time being? Let Tracy finish the machine, capture Savitar, then turn Barry's memories back on. Like, there are so many things that they could do. The very reason why they took away Barry's memories was to come up with a plan, and they didn't even come up with a plan. And I'm thinking, what are we doing? Did y'all seriously just put this boy through this for no reason at all? Come on now, come on. Y'all had a golden opportunity here to come up with something, and you didn't come up with not one single thing. That made me mad this whole episode. I was so waiting for somebody to come up with something, and nobody did anything. Let me get off that, because I'm getting madder as I'm talking about it. The episode ends with Caitlin not joining the team. She leaves the team. That's where the Killer Frost Still at Large is still a headline. So she leaves the team. She tells them she never loved them. That was kind of ouch. But Caitlin is not gone. She's not gone. She's choosing to be evil, and she can decide to come back. She's just operating in a sense of loss right now. So that's pretty much where the episode ends, and they find out that in order to charge the machine, they need something that is more powerful than the sun. And King Shark is guarding it. So in the promo for the next episode, Flash teams up with Captain Cold. He teams up with Snart. Everyone is waiting to see that episode. I am too. I'm going to really enjoy watching that episode. So hopefully you like this recap. I know it was kind of all over the place. This recap review, it was kind of all over the place. But that irritated me. The fact that they didn't come up with a plan when they had golden opportunity and ample time to come up with a bloody doggone plan. Like, what are you doing? That was the whole point of why we did this. Anyway. Oh, and I also forgot. Let me put this in there just as a side note. I get why Iris didn't want Barry to remember, but I was a little mad when she said maybe this city doesn't need the Flash. Are you serious? Okay. You don't determine what city needs what, honey. And this is why Barry's the Flash and you all are not. Now I get everyone has doubts here and there. And she was just very happy to see someone she loved who was carefree and things like that. But don't talk crazy now. Don't talk crazy. So you expect Barry to have these powers and to what? It doesn't matter where you all live. Barry's going to be the Flash. He's going to be a superhero. So don't get crazy now. I just have to put that in because I forgot to mention that part irritated me also. Again, know why she said it, just didn't like that she said it. So you all can like this review, not like this review. I was babbling in a lot of places. I enjoyed the episode. There were a lot of things, little things I should say here and there that irritated me. The main thing was they didn't come up with a plan, and that was the whole point of the episode, and they didn't even do it. So now they're back to square one, trying to defeat Savitar. So pretty much they just wasted all this time, valuable time that they could have used, because you're still back at square one. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. Keep watching The Flash. It's an excellent show. And I'll see you guys later in the next video. All right, this is Honor signing out. Talk to you guys later. Bye.